So often have we seen Queen Mary in the magnificence of her old age that we almost forget how lovely she'd been when she was 19. Princess May was singled out by Queen Victoria to marry the heir to the throne. And 60 years ago, she became the bride of Prince George of Wales. King George V and his Queen Mary came to the throne in 1910 to be crowned in Westminster Abbey the following year. Every reign brings a new age, a way of living that is often a reflection of the life of the reigning sovereign. As the Edwardian gaiety faded into the past, the world began to change. There were other countries, other kings, but few of the monarchies survived the century. Now, Queen Mary had to step into all the limelight of public life. By nature, she was shy and reserved, but from the beginning, she'd been taught to put duty first. Into a colorful age, she brought a personality and a character of her own. The world about her was to change, but Queen Mary was to remain forever Queen Mary, magnificent in person, dutiful to the point of sacrifice. Most of all, perhaps, Queen Mary enjoyed the pageantry of Wimbledon, the afternoons in the sun, the green turf, and the artistry of great players like Suzanne Lenglen. For Queen Mary, it wasn't summer without Wimbledon. Queen Mary went among her people and began that arduous round of visits and engagements and encouragement of good causes to which she devoted much of her life. She set herself a program that left her royal household exhausted. And in addition to all this, away from the ceremonial and public engagements, she was making certain that her children would benefit by the simplicity and discipline of family life. In the midst of war and distress, the King and Queen went firmly about their duties, and they left behind people confident and calmed. In a woman's century, Queen Mary did much during the Great War to open new worlds to women. By now, we've learned to understand the strain and the toll of kingship. George V grew seriously ill. Queen Mary took on his public responsibilities with all her indomitable spirit, but even then she found time to care for her husband. It is said that when one of the doctors was asked who had saved King George's life, he answered, "The Queen." So earnestly did King George and Queen Mary go about their daily duties that it was said they were astonished at the affection of the public on the occasion of their silver jubilee. But the kings depart, and a great reign drew to a close. After a lifetime of public service, it seemed Queen Mary could retire to the quiet pursuits she loved and leave her 4 sons to uphold the throne. But 1936 was the tragic year of her life. After the death of her husband, she heard her son, Edward VIII, abdicate in favor of his brother. There had been 5 sons in the royal family, but Prince John died when he was 14. Her son David, the firstborn, was her favourite, they said, the young prince who had been given to Wales at Carnarvon Castle. In later years, he was to make many faithful and affectionate visits to his mother. To her children, Queen Mary passed on the tradition of a united family life, and she held them all affectionately together even after their marriages. The Princess Royal married Lord Lascelles. Then the happy marriage between Prince George, the Duke of Kent, and the lovely Princess Marina. When the Duke of Kent lost his life on active service during the war, the Duchess and her children were taken to the heart of Queen Mary. There was a Scottish bride for the Duke of Gloucester. But the marriage of historic significance was the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of York. On the throne of our country, they were to develop still further Queen Mary's inspiration of a Commonwealth family united by a royal family. George VI, firmly on the throne, a great king, magnificently aided and partnered by Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mary could take life easier. She devoted much of her time to the younger generation, especially to Princess Elizabeth, who would one day be queen. To be a queen, there is much to be learnt, and who better as teacher than a great queen and a fond grandmother? Everyone said how happy Queen Mary was at the royal wedding. The young queen-to-be had found a worthy consort. The future of the kingdom was in good hands. Queen Mary's daughter, too, had found new joyfulness in family life. Perhaps no one in the world had seen so many changes, so much history at first hand as Queen Mary. Unchanged by it all herself, she'd reached a happy old age. And in the evening of her life, she still went her busy round, flower shows, exhibitions, tennis. Queen Mary was the ever-welcome visitor, greeted warmly by her people wherever she went. And from Queen Mary, the royal tradition has been handed down, generation to generation. To the young queen and her family, Queen Mary has left an inheritance of strength and uprightness, the enduring attributes of British royalty.